25 drivers, 16 nationalities, 3 champions, 1 champ. Road to Indy TV.
On behalf of everyone at Cooper Tire, drivers, start your engines!
And there it is, a passionate call to fire up the engines here today, John Phippen. It is time to go racing with the Road to Indy. First up, Indy Pro 2000.
Thanks, Rob Howden, and welcome to all of you listening on the web as we welcome you to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the first race of the day for our Road to Indy drivers, and that is the Indy Pro 2000 race number 2. Kyle Kirkwood took a dominant win yesterday. Can he repeat from the pole today? We'll see. That would be his 5th win on the season, but lots of hungry drivers right behind him, including Daniel Frost, who had a unfortunate tangle yesterday with Jacob Abel, and that put him back in the finishing order, but he still will have the opportunity to challenge for the lead at the front as they lead away from the pit lane, where I view them here overlooking the finish line, start-finish line here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We'll introduce the other voices you'll hear on the broadcast along myself and Rob as Rusty Bell picks up the cars as they head up toward the keyhole turn.
I'm just outside of turn 1 here at the pit exit underneath what is the Honda Bridge right now as they make their way up into the keyhole turn, a little short straightaway that's a straight shot into a 180-degree corner with an off-camber exit that causes a little bit of trouble, but that leads on to the long back straightaway, the 3,000-foot straightaway with a little kink in the middle that we call turn 3. I'm in the starter stand here, which for some of the races this weekend will be used. In this race, the start will happen on the pit straightaway in front of John, but I'm in that stand as they make their way by at the highest speed portion of the track as they lead into the heaviest braking area on their way into the S's.
And there they'll be picked up by Brian Culbertson. Hey, Brian.
Hey, John, and hello, Mid-Ohio and S's. Get ready to go. We had a great start with the Mazda MX-5 cars as they did plenty of passing down here in the S's. I expect the same with the USF Pro 2000 cars as they make their way by in the pace lap through the S's here. It's a great right-hand, left-hand, right-hand turn with a lot of elevation changes through this series of turns. And as they go underneath the Honda Bridge and out of my view, they head to Thunder Valley.
And we pick them up as they come through turn. I'm sorry, John, I jumped you there. As they come through turn number 7, 8, 9, the right-handers at 8 and 9. Then up over a ridge. As they go down through Thunder Valley, they come up to a sweeping turn number 10 to the right. And then the left-hander very fast coming on in to turn number 11. John, looking forward to a good one.
That's a tour around the track as Rob Howden has joined me here in the commentary booth as he and I will have a chance to look over the TV monitor and call the action that you're seeing. Those of you joining us on the web, Rob, welcome back.
Always great to have everybody joining us here on the Road to Indy TV app. If you haven't downloaded it, make sure you do so. But, John, yeah, you and I will be keying on this race because we are looking forward to a good one here. Kyle Kirkwood, as we said, has so much momentum. You've been following his career coming up through the ranks. The momentum is there. He'll lead him onto the front straightaway. We have contact. No, a couple drivers together. Contact. They stacked them up coming here onto the front straightaway. Drivers involved, Antoine Comeau. Antoine Comeau, the Turn 3 Motorsports machine, losing the front wing. John, just one of those issues where I think the leader didn't punch off. It's his call to punch off whatever he wants to essentially when they get the green. Everybody else getting a little more anxious and behind.
Yeah, I think Antoine Comeau just overcooked it just a little bit and probably got into the back of Nikita Lastishkin right in front of him. I don't know if Lastishkin has any damage to the car. Rusty, you might get a view on that. But we are under a yellow flag here at the start-finish line, but we're green on, no, we're not green on the rest of the course. They waved off the start.
Yeah, Antoine's still over here on the outside of the racetrack. And that was, I don't even know if that was Antoine's fault because I'm not sure if he was even punching off or somebody else actually jumping on the brakes. We're going to have a replay of this, guys. Let's have a look. Again, coming out here, you can see Kyle Kirkwood has not yet punched off, just going now. Drivers in the back locking up the brakes. Antonio Saravalli over the back of De La Vera. And then, as you said, I think Comeau getting into the back of Lastishkin. So,
and that was a chain reaction. You could see the brake smoke working its way back down the pack as everybody tried to accelerate before the front row was taken off. The AMR safety crew already on the scene. They're having a quick chat with Antoine Comeau to make sure he's okay.
Driver from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Tough one for Antoine. His his debut weekend here at Turn 3 Motorsports in the Indy Pro 2000 category. But you feel bad for him, but I'll tell you, it was a good start for Kyle Kirkwood. He's the pole position. That's the benefit you get from qualifying on the pole. You're going to start first. You go first. They got past the line. Just as they come out of the final corner of the racetrack here, we have a sign that says RTI, Road to Indy. That is our start line. So the drivers cannot accelerate until then, but it's up to Kyle to accelerate whenever he wants. Everybody else got super antsy. He was able to get a good jump on Daniel Frost, and that's when the chain reaction, John, as you mentioned, happened behind.
Exactly right. So we'll go around one more time behind the safety car as the AMR safety crew has hooked up to the stranded car of Camo, and they're going to get him pulled behind the barrier here. That should be a pretty quick extraction. I don't see any other issues, so we should be able to get started next time by.
So here's the guys coming into pit lane. Looked to me like a flat left rear potentially for Nikita Lastishkin.
Yep.
De La Vera coming into pit lane as well. I'm kind of surprised that Camo wasn't able to just refire and continue on. They got him out of the grass onto the track now. Ideally, they'll be able to fire him up. Maybe he was just stuck where he was, but they're going to pull that tow rope off, and he's just going to fire up that engine. He'll be able to come back around and put a new wing on it, but again, already down a lap. But Lastishkin and De La Vera, those drivers were involved in that chain reaction. John had mentioned he believed that Camo got into the back of Lastishkin, and then, of course, as well, Saravalli getting into the back of De La Vera. So the contact from the back, likely flat tires. I'm not sure if there's any damage to the back. I didn't see any damage to either car wing-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't appear to be, but both of the cars behind them were way up in the, air, about a 45. It looked like stadium super trucks there for a minute.
And that's not what we're supposed to do.
That's not what you guys are supposed to do.
Not our
exactly
jam.
right. So I would not be surprised if there was some rear end damage and at least a flat tire or two, and that's what the repair is going on. So tough break for those two drivers, as although they were starting near the back of the pack, they're going to be at least perhaps a lap down. Camo's already a lap down. We'll see if De La Vera and Lashtis can get out in front of the pace car.
Here's another look at the replay, folks. You can see they're very slow coming up. See the guys,
Yeah,
a little brake smoke right there.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that might have been Rasmus Lint from P6. It looks like he was ready to get going. That's where it all started. We saw the brake smoke from last year. If we can see it one more time now that we've picked it up, it looked to me like indeed Rasmus Lint just getting on the brakes and really locking it up because I think he was ready to go, and then that's where the chain reaction happened. Here's one more shot at it, John. Outside of row number 3, the green and white Junko's car is Rasmus Lint. You see him getting ready to pump?
Actually, it was just in front of him.
That was Stingray Robb.
That was Stingray Robb, yeah.
It was the driver from P4 who locked the brakes up. Looks like, I believe, Lint got into the back of Robb a little bit, and then everything happened after that.
I thought we'd get the start this time by, but apparently we're going to go around one more time behind the safety car. As the field's, what's the issue here with the 68?
That's Daniel Frost. He's coming down pit lane. I'm not sure what's going on with Daniel Frost right now. He is slowed coming down the front straightaway.
And Saravalli down the pit lane as well.
That doesn't surprise me. Saravalli was one of those drivers who was 45 degrees up in the air, as you said. Daniel Frost falling to the tail of the field for some reason now.
Has he been perhaps issued a penalty? I don't know.
I don't think that he would have done anything that would have been a penalty that I could see on the track.
Yeah, he was on the front row. I mean,
indeed. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here at this point here for Daniel Frost. Qualified really well to be on the outside of the front row. I'm not exactly sure what it is for Daniel Frost. Remember, he was involved in that tough incident yesterday with Jacob Abel down in turn number 4. Major contact, bad, heavy damage to both of those race cars. But Daniel Frost dropping to the tail of the field, almost like there was a reason for it. We'll see if we can't get some more information from some of our spotters from race control to find out indeed why Daniel falling to the tail of the field. Whether or not he was doing that just to check the car for a second, I'm not quite sure. Wow, so what they're saying right now, I'm being told that that Daniel Frost potentially not maintaining his speed at the start, so they were kind of pointing to Daniel Frost on that. Now
he set off the chain reaction, perhaps.
That's not
Stingray Robb was right behind him.
Yeah,
so.
That's not what I saw coming out of that track, out of the corner rather. It seemed to me like the front row was locked and loaded. He was right beside Kyle Kirkwood. So, man, that's a huge penalty for Daniel Frost. They're going to put him to the tail of the field coming out of the front straightaway. Now, let's say this. There is precedent of this happening. At the road course race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Kyle Kirkwood was on the outside of Rasmus Lint. Kyle got a bit of a jump early. They threw the yellow, and they put Kyle Kirkwood to the very back of the field. So we've seen this happen before, but from our vantage point, it seemed to me like the front row was locked and loaded. It looked to me like Stingray Robb was just getting ready to push off, getting ready to roll. That's a tough one for Daniel Frost. We know he has the speed, so keep your eye on the number 68 exclusive Autosport machine. Daniel, a winner 2 times this year on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway and just a couple of weeks ago in Toronto on those tough city streets.
Kyle Kirkwood's going to have the front row to himself because they're going to go again with a 2x2 start from original grid position. So with Frost serving the penalty, Kirkwood comes alone to the flag.
Yeah, the open outside spot, John. Indeed, here we go. Driver spooling up and away we're at it. Daniel Frost getting a good run. He'll go by his teammate Listoshkin, and he's going to go to the inside of Finelli. Listoshkin's going to come with him, so a couple spots already for Daniel Frost. Kirkwood, though, gets an opening run. He'll come out of turn number 1, and again, that big run down to turn number 2, the keyhole, downhill, off camber, good start, good push later back. That's the 2 drivers, I believe. No, that's Parker Thompson going to the inside, I think.
Stingray
Robb. Rusty, they're in front of you.
Down the straightaway, Kirkwood with a big jump, being on that front row all alone, but side by side for second. Right now it's Parker Thompson on the inside with about a nose in front of Stingray Robb, but they're still side by side, Brian.
Still side by side. Oh, big wiggle there. Now comes out of, and I believe that was Stingray Robb's car, and it was. So Robb back into that 3rd spot. The number 8 of Parker Thompson into 2nd spot. Kyle Kirkwood trying to get away here, but looks like 2nd place might catch him, Tom.
Well, right now, equal distance, 1st to 2nd. And now pulling up is Stingray Robb, probably 2 car lengths off the rear wing of Parker Thompson.
Yeah, tough day for Parker Thompson yesterday, guys. It was actually an actuator on the gearbox. He was stuck in gear, wasn't able to change it at all. The guys from Elite Engines did whatever they could and tried everything possible. It was the actual actuator. He was very disappointed at the end of yesterday, but he wants to come back here strong for Able Motorsports, running 2nd spot, and we'll definitely look at the splits. 0.7 of a second this time by Kyle Kirkwood, your leader. They'll work their way out of turn number 1 once again. It's that long run down to turn 2. Keep an eye, though, folks, you around the racetrack, on Nikita Lastushkin and Daniel Frost are now 9th and 10th coming across the line and getting ready to go to work here now on Jacob Abel. That'll be a battle for that 8th position, but you can see the gap here, folks, those of you watching on the Road to Indy TV app. Kyle Kirkwood, a pretty solid advantage right now over Parker Thompson, and at this point we'll start looking at splits. A 1:21.1 the opening lap for Kyle Kirkwood. You can see how that has already helped him pull away a little bit at this time. Stingray Robb having a strong run here in that 3rd spot. Rasmus Lint finally able to get by Ian Rodriguez. And that's the thing about Rasmus Lint. He's thinking championship the whole time, but man, we got a battle coming down the hill. We'll look at that further back. Tom, they're coming in front of you. I think that's going to be a fight between Moises De Oliveira and Jacob Abel.
Yeah, we watch as that goes by us right now. No change as they come through and into Thunder Valley right now.
It's actually Philippe Dennis, John, that was in there in the Fat Boy Racing yellow machine. He was going at it with De Oliveira as well. And the funny thing is it's Abel, Listoshkin, and Frost just waiting to pounce on to get one of these drivers to do something, make a move, because we're coming by.
De Oliveira, of course, one of the cars involved in that incident at the start, but looks like the car is okay. He's already up to 6th position, getting around Philippe Dennis. Ian Rodriguez back 1 spot to 5th as Rasmus Lint, the points leader, up into 4th spot.
Daniel Frost, one of our championship challengers, and I can tell you he's going to start getting frustrated. This is a longer race. It's a 25-lap race. We've got only a couple in the books right now, 5 laps in after that early yellow flag, but Frost is going to start to get frustrated. He's going to try to get aggressive. You can see some moves coming right now, just kind of getting those tires to come in. It'll take, as you know, John, 4 or 5 laps to get the heat built in to these Cooper tires, and once they're at that optimum, then we can start going to work. I'm really liking that battle, though. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Dennis, Abel, Listoshkin, and Frost, and they've actually closed up to within maybe 2 car lengths now of Moises De Oliveira.
Yeah, that's pretty much a 4-way battle. Tom Michaels, that's just coming over the hill into your view once again. It's the best battle on the track.
Absolutely. The 6th car goes by as Moises De Oliveira. His advantage over the 7th place car of Dennis. Right now, 3 car lengths as they head into 11.
John, the interesting thing is Daniel Frost is behind his teammate Nikita Lastushkin, so although he's definitely going to start getting a little more anxious, he wants to make that pass, he's going to have to be a little more ginger with it because you don't want to, rule number 1.
Don't take out your teammate.
Take out your teammate. So Daniel's got the speed. He qualified on the outside of the front row. He just hasn't been able to use it yet after that really tough penalty at the very start. Now, as I said, that's a penalty. It was tough. We're not sure if that's what we saw coming out of the corner. You got to give it up to race control, but we have seen a penalty like that happen before. Here comes Frost. He's going to look to the inside now of his teammate. No, that's actually Listoshkin on the outside. Lastushkin to the outside, Rusty, of Jacob Abel.
Working on that now, down onto the straightaway. That group that we've been talking about, 7th on back, nose to tail right now. All three of them driving defensively. Lestershkin on the inside trying to hold that spot.
Trying to hold that spot in a battle out in front of them. Almost 3 wide at the exit of turn number 4. Everybody goes back to single file. Nikita L going to hold his position as he makes his way underneath the Honda bridge, but that definitely is the best battle on the track.
Absolutely, but I'll tell you what, our leader has not been able to put as much distance between himself and Parker Thompson as he would like to. Thompson just off the rear wing of the 28 car of Kyle Kirkwood.
Tom, you read my mind. Kirkwood got away yesterday to a big win, but right at the moment, we're just watching this battle at the back as Daniel Frost all over Nikita Lestoshkin trying to take over that position.
Yeah, Daniel's getting aggressive. He looked to the inside at turn number 10, 9, and 10. There are 8 and 9 coming up over Madness into that right-handing turn number 9. He was trying to get to the inside. He needs to get by Nikita Lestoshkin right now. But as we look at lap times, Thompson was quicker than Kirkwood last lap. This particular lap, Kirkwood quicker again by just a tenth. 7/10 of a second separating first and second. But again, the biggest battle is Daniel Frost really trying to get by his teammate Lestoshkin. And although they're teammates, you know that they're trying to hold each other back. Jacob Abel's been able to get a little bit of room now, John. He's going to go to work here on Philippe Dennis. Abel, though, has been a top 5 driver all weekend. In all the time charts, he's been fast. Philippe Dennis, though, going to the inside, Brian, in turn number 4.
Yeah, he gets that pass done.
Abel's
And
coming
Nikita Abel's up in there. He is looking to the inside, down into 6. Boy, that's tight. Abel still side by side. Tom Michaels, what a great battle coming at you through 7.
You better believe it. We got a lot of twitcher between the cars back there. The 6, the 51, the 90, all of them making through in the order as they came through here. Nikita Lestoshkin in that battle as well. But Kirkwood able to stretch it out, his lead over Thompson a little bit more that lap.
Let's give it up right there for Jacob Abel and De La Vera side by side through 6, 7, 8, over to 9. And again, both Lestoshkin and Frost getting frustrated now. They know they're quicker than both of these drivers, but this track is so hard to pass on if you're not getting out of the keyhole well enough. Kirkwood now leading by over a second. He's 4/10 quicker on that last lap. Kyle Kirkwood leads, Parker Thompson second. Third is Stingray Robb. Fourth is Rasmuth Lint. Fifth is Ian Rodriguez. And again, a good battle here right now for the third spot. Rasmuth Lint trying to go to work on his teammate. But again, the cameras here on our coverage on the Road to Indy app focusing big time on this battle from 6th back into 10th.
Abel making a move on Lestoshkin, or on De La Vera. Coming into your view, Brian.
And he gets that move done. So he moves up 1 spot. The 6 car able to get that pass done. De La Vera at the end of the back straightaway. Oh, man. For our Daniel Frost tries to make a big move in turn number 6, and they almost hit down there. Tom Michaels, teammates going at each other.
Yeah, that 68 car had a little bit of a twitch as he came through turn number 9 that time. Gets in behind his teammate once again, but right now, those cars up into the carousel turn. Continue to watch that second place battle between Robb and Lynn.
I'll tell you right now, Daniel Frost, if he can get by his teammate, he's not going to be quite so kind with the other drivers in front of him. He has looked inside numerous times. Battle in front of you right now. That's that fight for the top driver in the Juncos Racing Camp. Stingray Robb in 3rd, Rasmuth Lint 4th. There's the lead you're seeing there for Kyle Kirkwood over Parker Thompson. Back to 3rd and 4th. Big gap back to Ian Rodriguez driving by himself in the RP Motorsports number 5. The driver out of Guatemala currently 5th. He's got a 6.3 second lead on Philippe Dennis, who kind of leads that next battle. Dennis with a 1.4 second advantage now over De La Vera. De La Vera seems to me like he's kind of holding everybody back up. He just doesn't have quite the pace here right now. Abel continues to go to work on him, but we'll watch it here. There's that lead. Pretty solid run through 8 and 9. Thompson still trying to push to close up on Kirkwood. And that as they come into Thunder Valley, that's the gap. I want to see if maybe Stingray Robb's closing up as well from 3rd to 2nd. Here's your fight again. De La Vera 7th, Abel 8th, Lestoshkin 9th, and Daniel Frost in 10th. He has just not been able to get by his teammate yet, John. As I said, he has been very aggressive, show to nose a couple of times. I think if it weren't Nikita, we may have seen a more aggressive move by Daniel Frost.
15 laps remaining in this one as we come across the line to complete race lap number 10. Work at race lap 11. Philippe Dennis having a great run now. Once he got by De La Vara, he's been able to check out. He's a long way back, almost 6 seconds behind Ian Rodriguez.
And no quicker either. I don't think he's going to be able to reel in Rodriguez unless we get a yellow flag. But otherwise, a good run for Dennis to get away from that pack. Daniel Frost, though, you know he's got to be getting frustrated. And they'll be on the radio with Lastishkin saying, Nikita, make this happen. Get by Jacob Abel. Let's get aggressive here right now, or let Daniel come by, let him do it. Because if one goes by, depending on where it is, you could think that maybe both exclusive Autosport cars are able to sneak by.
3 wide coming to you, Brian.
Yeah, Abel on the outside trying to get that done. Can't get it done. Frost working on his teammate big time. This is going to come to tears, guys. They are making some big risks here. Abel looking at the exit of turn number 6. Tom Michael coming at you. Really good battle with Abel trying to get around.
Again, we watch the 6, the 51. Abel trying to move up, unable to do so right now, and lose a little bit of momentum as they come up through Thunder Valley.
De La Vara doing the best he can now to hold off these guys behind him. And these guys have been quick all weekend. As I said, Jacob Abel, of course, top 5 runner in most of the practice and the qualifying earlier on, had that issue yesterday. Lastishkin with 4th yesterday. Of course, Daniel Frost starting on the outside of the front row. So De La Vara with the elbows up trying to hold back. Watching the lap times coming down here for Stingray Robb as well. Watch the leaders work their way around. That's Philippe Dennis. That's the cap he has. Here's a deep move right now. Lastishkin to the inside of Jacob Abel. Does he hold it coming out? Rusty of turn number 2.
He's trying to hold it down the straightaway right now as I can see him making their way through the kink. It is the 68 car, I believe, in that spot right now, but they're still 3 wide, Brian.
Still 3 wide, making their way through there. We'll see if any, nope, no changes there in that position. Well, actually there is.
Yeah. Daniel
There is
Frost,
big
guys.
change there as they make their way through. The 68 has fallen back 1 spot, 2 spots as they come through the S's.
Daniel Frost able to go in past his teammate Lastishkin and immediately able to go by Jacob Abel. You watch Daniel Frost now. He's going to make short work, I believe, of Moises De La Vara when he gets there. Frost, an aggressive young driver, such a talent. 3 races last year in USF 2000 was exclusive Autosport. Jumped up to a full season here in Indy Pro. Here's a kid that could come back next year and be your championship challenger because he has got that much skill working with exclusive Autosports. Of course, a race-winning team here in Indy Pro 2000. Watch for he and Lastishkin to try to see if they can't roll up on De La Vara. But, guys, you picked it up. Stingray Robb quicker by 0.2 of a second than Parker Thompson. They are really starting to close up. And, Brian, they're going to be in front of you soon. I think Robb's going to try to make a move here pretty soon on Thompson.
Not only is he's one of the fastest guys on the track, he's turned the fastest lap of the race so far. Stingray Robb, he's actually got a handful. That car's got a huge push between 4 and 5. He's sawing at the wheel and going fast. Stingray Robb putting on the best race I've seen him in, and he is reeling in 2nd place. Tom, they're in front of you.
Yeah, putting a lot of steering in that car. He's trying to chase down the 2nd place car, Parker Thompson. Right now, good bit of distance between he and Thompson.
Watch when they come back around here. We're going to see Daniel Frost have made the move on De La Vara. Now Frost will set out to try to close up on Philippe Dennis. Your leaders coming out of the final corner here around start-finish, 13 laps down. We still have a number of laps still to go for you here. 12 laps remaining in a 25-lap contest. New fast lap laid down here by Parker Thompson, challenged by Stingray Robb from the back, and he lays down a 117 flat. First driver to do a flat. Parker Thompson 1.1 seconds behind Kyle Kirkwood, but he is starting to feel the heat as well from the American Stingray Robb from P3. He's been able to pull almost a second away from his teammate Rasmus Lint. So a driver who comes in here, John, with such a point lead. Rasmus has been very consistent throughout the season. He obviously wants wins. Every driver will tell you, I'm just going to win races. I'll let the championship take care of itself. But it's these decent races that stay in the top 5 that still get the job done for you. Rasmus was not one of the guys to win in Toronto, but had another good finish, a couple good finishes. Same thing here right now, really just consistent for Rasmus.
Yeah, and again, consistency wins championships. I mean, as you look at his order, he's only got 2 wins, but he's been on the podium 6 times.
That's it.
And I mean, that's kind of consistency is what makes it happen. And he's got a 24-point lead over Kyle Kirkwood, who has won now 4 in a row, or not 4 in a row, but 4 wins on the season.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5 and 4 of the last 4 polls. I like this run here by Daniel Frost. 2.4 seconds behind Philippe Dennis, quicker by 0.6 of a second last time by. We're going to watch that gap continue to shrink as Philippe Dennis and the Fat Boy Racing Machine will work his way out of the carousel. There's De Oliveira, followed by Lastishkin rather. He has not been able to get by, didn't come with his teammate. So Lastishkin right behind De Oliveira, Abel right there as well. That's still a good battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, I don't know if Abel's maybe a little gun shy in today's race after being involved in that incident yesterday.
Yeah, good point.
But nonetheless, he's not been able to make the move forward as his teammate has.
And again, for Jacob Abel, this is all about 2020. He's here trying to gain him as much experience as he can. That's why Parker Thompson is here, a very veteran and experienced teammate in the Road to Indy. He developed this PM18 for Exclusive Autosport last year, helped them come up with the setup that they've used to be able to win races as they did last year with Parker. So this year really for Jacob all about next year. So you're right, John. There's no sense throwing it away here. He's not in a championship battle. Why not get a feel for what it's like running behind a car? If the gap is there, he'll take it. But otherwise, make sure you bring it home and get the laps.
Yeah, he's got a big lead over Saravalli, so he doesn't really have to worry about anybody behind him. As we continue to follow on the camera, this battle for third and fourth, excuse me, between the 2 teammates on Juncos Racing as Stingray Robb and Rasmus Lind. It's been stable for the last couple laps, right about 1 second.
That's first, second, third, and fourth right for you there, folks, coming under the bridge for turn number 1. The gap now 1.4 seconds. Kirkwood over Thompson. He is just steamrolling right now. This would be 5 wins in the last 6 races. Remember, he reset the single-season record, winning the championship last year in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 program. 13 wins, eclipsing the record that was held by J.R. Hildebrand for so many years. He's on a roll right now. If he wins here, 5 of the last 6 races, and we still have 5 more races to go. Could he win 11 races on the season and grab the championship by the time we get to Laguna Seca?
I think it's certainly history would say has shown that is certainly a possibility when it comes to Kyle Kirkwood.
Not out of the realm of possibility for sure. It's a discussion we could be having because this kid is a talent, kind of following in the footsteps of his good friend Oliver Askew, winning the USF 2000
both
championship.
from Jupiter, Florida.
And we always wonder what's in the water in Jupiter, Florida. So Lastishkin trying to find a way by as well. There's your leader coming through the carousel. Such a tough part of this racetrack. And, John, you've called so many races here. When you come through that corner, even if you're the leader, you're running up front, it's one of those corners where you're good at it, but you make one mistake coming over the hill. I don't care if you're the fastest driver here. You can make a mistake and end up in the grass or into the gravel.
Exactly right, and it's a very important corner because turn 1 is a very high-speed turn. If your car's working at all there, if you lose a little bit of a hiccup here, the guy behind you could get a great run all the way up to the keyhole turn and really make your life miserable. So it's a very important corner on this racetrack.
Rasmus Lint about 0.3 of a second quicker than his teammate. He's cut that gap that was once over a second down to just 0.7. So Rasmus, in his mind, actually he and I and Stingray Robb did a Q&A yesterday, and we talked a little bit about being teammates and about the championship with Rasmus. I like this battle of Rusty in front of you. Brian's going to get it as well. Here comes Daniel Frost.
Around the outside right now, Philippe Dennis. He's got the outside line. Dennis trying to hold him off on the inside.
Dennis stays right there. Frost stays. Frost gets the pass done as he makes his way up into turn number 5. And another battle right back there side by side. Abel trying to hold that position off. They work their way through 5. It's still side by side. Tom Michaels, we'll see how this plays out. 3 turns in a row, side by side. Tom Michaels headed for you. We'll see who gets that position.
Well, the car that gets that position is the number 6. So Moises De Oliveira able to hold on as they come through turn number 7 and 8. And now has the position.
Moyes is doing everything he can to hold everyone off. A good battle with he and Jacob Abel. But what did I say about Daniel Frost? The minute he was able to get out, I knew he was moving. He has already checked out on Philippe Dennis. Let's have a look at lap times. He's now 9.3 seconds behind Rodriguez, but that's just not going to happen. He was a couple of tenths quicker. He's so far behind now. He'd need a yellow. But again, we're watching potentially a battle for third spot as the leaders have already worked their way down the straightaway. We're watching again. There's that gap there. Here comes a good battle. This is Abel continuing to try to go to the inside of De La Vera. But the battle for third starting to heat up a little bit. We'll watch lap times between Stingray Robb in the number 2 and Rasmuth Lint in the number 10. Both those drivers, John, 1:17.2. They're quicker than the leaders right now, that battle for third and fourth.
Exactly right. Kyle Kirkwood controlling the pace with about a 1.5 lead over Parker Thompson, but the battle is hot between the Juncos teammates as when they come into the carousel turn. About 3 car lengths, I would call it, for Rasmus Lind. He was able to move up onto the box yesterday in a late race maneuver over his teammates. So can history repeat itself? We've got 7 laps to go.
Note from our pit reporters out on the racetrack, contact between Abel and De La Vera. Guys, pick it up. We got a spin on track.
We got the number 6 car of Moises De La Vera. He spun it, went around a couple of times before he winds up in the peat gravel here, and I seriously doubt he's able to get that car
what corner are we at,
by
guys?
himself. That's in turn number 9.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Turn 9. Now, could that bring out a yellow, you think, Tom?
Thinking. Race control is talking about it right now on the radio, and they have not yet made the decision.
He's stuck. There's nowhere he's going.
Well, Tom's giving us the update. He's not going anywhere, whether or not we see a yellow. 1.4 seconds now, the gap between the leader, Kirkwood, and Thompson. Were we going to see a full course yellow? Indeed, we are.
Here it comes.
Full course yellow. Let's start this all over again. The AMR safety team will get out to Moises De La Vera in turn number 9 quickly. As Tom had said, off the racetrack, it's stuck. They'll do what they can to get him out here. 7 laps to go. Oh yes.
I'll tell you who's doing a fist pump in the cockpit right now. Daniel Frost.
Oh, no kidding.
He is going to be right up on the back of Ian Rodriguez now. He was 9 seconds behind and probably relegated to a 6th position. But this yellow comes at a perfect time for him to pounce and maybe get himself into the front, the conversation for the podium.
When you talked about fist bump, I was going to say everybody behind Kyle Kirkwood, but you're right. Maybe not Rodriguez, because he had a 5th position pretty much locked. It was about an 8-second gap back to Daniel Frost. But John, you were bang on. Daniel Frost in the exclusive Autosport number 68. He got that penalty at the start for not maintaining his speed, put him to the tail of the field. He showed great patience. And I'm going to say this about Daniel, because here is this young driver, rookie here in Indy Pro 2000, only 3 races last year in USF.
Right.
To be able to show that patience and not get too over aggressive. You could easily overcook a corner. You're battling with your teammate Lastishkin. You got to be smart. He finally gets by, rockets his way up to the 6th position. Now he's going to have a chance to go to work. 6 laps left. What do you think? 6 laps left. Let's have a look at the replay. We actually may get a bit of the shot here. Here's De La Vera. He just overcooks it going into the corner. Yeah,
that's pretty much the same thing Joseph Newgarden did yesterday. Just overcooked it going through turn number 8 and wasn't able to get anywhere near the apex. Hooked his wheels over the outside there of the gator's teeth, and around he went.
Pretty quickly it happens. And again, you can see as he came through, just didn't get himself far enough to the left-hand side to be able to late apex coming through turn number 8. The car pushed out on him, and as John said, onto the rumble strips, and around the car went for De La Vera. Issue for Charles Finelli, I saw that earlier. He came to a stop at the end of the front straightaway, just on the side of the retaining wall on the inside of the racetrack. They've pushed Finelli back off, so that'll be an 11th place finish for Finelli. He joins Antoine Cameau and Moises De La Vera as non-finishers here. 10 drivers remain on the racetrack, and we'll stack them up behind our Road to Indy pace car.
Cameau actually is running. He'll take over that 11th spot.
Right.
Yeah, Cameau came in and got a new wing, so
pardon me.
He's still running. And on the lead lap, as it turns out.
So here we go. This is interesting because Kyle Kirkwood's going to have to defend against a very hungry Parker Thompson. Stingray Robb's got his teammate Rasmuth Lint right there. So Rasmuth in his mind is, hey, do I hold this spot? Could be a little chaotic. I'm the point leader, but the guy in front of me is on a roll right now. I need to get as many points as I possibly can. Let's see what happens here. So that's a couple of battles. Look at Parker Thompson to go after Kirkwood quickly. Look at Rasmuth Lint to try to get his teammate. We'll put lap 20 in the books as they come across the line here. There'll be 5 laps remaining.
De La Vera's been extracted from the gravel trap. Here he comes slowly.
Good
I'm
pickup.
guessing he'll make a call to the pits just to check, because he has nothing to lose at this point.
Indeed.
He's already a lap down.
So with him out right now, you got to figure we're going to get green this next time by. Guys, there'll be 4 laps remaining here in Indy Pro 2000. Kirkwood, Thompson, Robb, Lint, and Rodriguez top 5. Daniel Frost, the lottery winner, as John had mentioned, started at the very tail of the field after that penalty, raced his way patiently back up to 6th spot, and he's going to get a shot now at going after the driver who is in P5, Ian Rodriguez. Looks to me like a flat left front potentially for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, I wonder if that may have been why he went off the racetrack coming through turn 8.
Or
the tire laying down.
It could be getting it up on the gator's teeth, flattened it as well. I mean, it's anybody's guess whether it was a cause of the spin or a result of the spin.
Indeed. So again, guys, Kyle Kirkwood is no stranger to leading races at restarts. He does a tremendous job of it, and that was one of the reasons why he was able to win so many events last year en route to that USF 2000 championship, which of course gave him that scholarship. And that's one of the key parts of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tire program. You win a championship here, you are winning a significant scholarship that will pay for a vast majority of your budget moving forward. And again, we saw Kyle Kirkwood win last year. Of course, he's moved to Indy Pro. Last year, Renus VK winning in the Indy Pro category, win that championship. He's got the Soul Red Mazda colors, of course, the last year of our Mazda scholarship. Renus VK and Indy Lights. Now, that's the thing. Every one of these drivers wants to continue moving. They want to follow in the footsteps of a Renus VK, of an Oliver Askew, of a Spencer Piggott. And they know if they win here, they've guaranteed themselves a spot on the Indy Lights grid next year, and that's just one step away from the NTT IndyCar Series. And that is why this is so important. Drivers coming up out of Thunder Valley now. Kyle Kirkwood, he will be in charge of the pace. Again, I told you about that little flag when they come out of turn number 12. I think that's we're not using that potentially for the restarts, just for the starts. So they come out of the carousel, and we'll spool things up. We're back at it. 4 to go. Green, green, green. Great start for Kyle Kirkwood. Here comes a pass. Stingray Robb looking to the inside of Parker Thompson. I think he may have got the job done.
Oh, he's side by side through turn 1, a really difficult spot to be in. It looks like Parker Thompson lost 2 spots right now. May lose 3 now as he's side by side, the top of the keyhole. May hold that battle off and may settle into a 4th spot around the top of the keyhole. But 2 cars going around Parker Thompson right in the middle of the corner here. We'll see if Parker Thompson's able to get back. He's still under a big challenge from Frost now coming down the outside, Brian.
Frost trying to make that move as he comes into turn number 4. Stingray Robb's his 2nd spot. He is having a great race, your points leader. Lynn there into the 3rd spot. This is going to be great fun watching Stingray Robb and Lynn go at each other. Teammates, the points leader in 3rd. Tom Michaels coming at you.
Absolutely. There is some dirt on the racetrack from the car that spun, but everybody, well, the number 3 car is having some problems getting through that, but the leaders easily get through that in turn 9.
Kyle Kirkwood more than happy to have those drivers battling behind him, the 2 competitors from Juncos Racing, Stingray Robb and Rasmuth Lynn. A tough start for Parker Thompson, just did not get on the throttle quick enough, and they were able to swallow him up going to turn number 1. Parker Thompson sliding into the 4th position. Daniel Frost able to get by Rodriguez on that start as well, so move Daniel Frost up into the 5th spot. 3 laps remaining here in Indy Pro 2000, but it's a 1.4-second lead for Kyle Kirkwood. He's able to jet away, letting everybody else battle behind him, but you got to give props for Stingray Robb, John. He was aggressive on the start. He saw that Parker Thompson got caught napping a bit, and a good move into turn number 1.
Yeah, and you know he is going to look for a little redemption here in this race because he lost that podium spot yesterday very late in the race on the very last lap. Ended up finishing back in 5th spot with an issue as the car gave a little hiccup. He would like very much to be able to hold off his teammate right now and maintain this 2nd spot.
To update on Stingray Robb yesterday, remember there was that light contact he and Rodriguez down in turn number 4. He was actually instructed by race control to give the spot back. We thought it potentially could have been a mechanical. He was instructed to give the spot back, and in doing so, the problem was Lasterschim was able to slip by as well. It's very tough.
He gave 2 spots
to
back.
give up the 1 spot when everybody's so hungry. So again, as you said, this will be redemption for Stingray Robb, currently in that 2nd position. There's your leader, though. That's the gap he's been able to develop as the drivers work their way through the carousel. Kirkwood, Robb, cross the line. 2 to go. 2 laps remaining. Watching the lap times as well. Stingray Robb, 2/10 off of that of Kirkwood, but almost identical lap times with Rasmuth Lint. Parker Thompson hold on to the 4th spot. Ian Rodriguez able to get back by Daniel Frost. So Rodriguez not giving up here at
No
all.
Yeah, he's not laying down at all. He's the teammate, of course, to our leader, Kyle Kirkwood. And, you know, I give a tip of the hat to RP Motorsport. This is their first season with the series, and they're getting it together, finding how to get the car ready and get it working for Kyle Kirkwood, Andy, and Rodriguez as they're coming on strong here in the second half of the season.
Second season for RP. They had Harrison Scott last year and a number of different drivers. Lodovico Larini was one of the drivers they had. Raul Guzman ran for them last year as well, as did Mateus Soler-Obel. But you're right, second year in the series, they were able to learn a lot last year, but bringing in Kyle Kirkwood, a champion driver who knows these racetracks and knows how to win at these racetracks. They struggled early in the season, as I had said, but as soon as they kind of came together, the confidence you have as a driver, the momentum, the team working together, the engineer, the driver, you know, once they have that confidence and belief in each other, that is so, so tough to beat.
Getting word from our pit reporters, Charles Finelli was put out, lost fuel pressure in the car, so probably a fuel pump problem.
Big update. Thank you for the guys down on pit lane. Kirkwood across the line. The white flag will fly. Final lap here for the drivers in Indy Pro 2000. No challenge whatsoever. Kyle Kirkwood on his way to his 5th win in the last 6 races. If you're Rasmussen Lint, this is not what you want to see. If they come across the line as they are now, if we have no changes with Lint in 3rd spot, the lead in the points will be down to just 12. 12-point lead. Good battle further back, though, as well. That is Daniel Frost and Nikita Lastishkin, the two leaders, the two exclusive Autosport teammates, guys, going at it.
They're going at it down the straightaway, and actually they've caught the car in front, or the car behind has caught them. It's 3 wide, Brian.
3 wide for just a moment there. It's 2 wide as they bend their way through. Nikita touches right there. Again, we got a car that comes off right between 4 and 5.
Abel.
It's the 51 car of Jacob Abel, and he is high-centered right here. Don't know if he's going to be able to continue.
Doesn't
matter
for
you, Tom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, guys. Last lap on the racetrack, so he is gone. They're going to cap this race off this time by Kyle Kirkwood. Leads it out of the Thunder Valley into the carousel. Kyle Kirkwood, 2.2 seconds, and even with Abel stranded over there in turn number 5. It does not matter because back-to-back jacks here at Mid-Ohio. Kyle Kirkwood wins for RP Motorsports Racing. What a run for the young driver from Florida. Juncos Racing, 2nd and 3rd. Great result for Stingray Robb. He finishes 2nd. Rasmussen Lint in 3rd. Parker Thompson comes home 4th. Ian Rodriguez in the 5th spot. Daniel Frost ends up P6 after starting dead last after the issue. Nikita Lastishkin in 7th. Philippe Dennis 8th. Antonio Serravalle 9th. Jacob Abel on that issue going to 10th. And Antoine Cameau coming home in the 11th position. But what do you say about Kyle Kirkwood right now, John Phippen? Like, this guy is on a roll. He is dangerous. He's got the points now down to just 12 back. We go to Gateway, the Oval next. Rasmussen Lint needs to step things up.
Exactly, and on the Oval they get bonus, points and a half at the Oval. So I mean, Kirkwood could conceivably take the points lead at the Oval if Rasmussen Lint doesn't have a good run. So this championship battle is going to go right down to the wire.
But add up another podium for Rasmussen Lint. He's only been off the podium 2 times this year. The consistency is still there. He's just got to get back to his winning ways like what he had at the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These guys battled it out last year in USF 2000. They're doing it again here this year in Indy Pro. But congratulations to Kyle Kirkwood. Tremendous run for him. 5 wins in the last 6 races. I'm starting to remember what it was like last year when he was piling up the wins everywhere we went. Deja vu all over again for the young American.
Yeah, like I say, and I followed his career through F4 and F3, and he was the same way. He was a juggernaut in both of those championships. His very first season, he finished, 2nd or 3rd in the championship. But boy, the second season, it was all Kirkwood all the time in F4 and in F3. So he is looking to getting back to those winning ways. And confidence breeds confidence. I mean, there's just no other way around it. There's something about momentum, and these drivers just feel better about themselves. They feel better about how the car is set up, and it just goes from strength to strength.
And the driver trusts the engineer, and the engineer trusts the feedback from the driver when you're winning, and that just keeps feeding itself, as you said. Wins breed wins. Kyle Kirkwood, there's your official results, unofficial results rather. We have not done tech, and we have potentially penalties, you never know. Kyle Kirkwood with the win. Stingray Robb and Rasmuth Limp. Those are the 3 drivers we'll take to victory lane. Parker Thompson was second. Not a great restart. He falls to 4th, but still a good run.
Yep.
And lots of data logged for Able Motorsports for the 2020 season. Ian Rodriguez able to get back around Daniel Frost. That was a great battle at the end of that one. Frost and Lastishkin, the 2 exclusive Autosport drivers, fighting their way forward. Finally able to get by Moises De Oliveira and then Philippe Dennis. So congrats to both of those drivers. Dennis in 8th, Saravalli 9th, and Jacob Abel in the middle of that battle with Frost and Lastishkin at the very end. He caps off the top 10.
Yeah, it only cost him a couple spots, so it's not all
Sure
bad.
enough.
And again, he's learning. He's a young driver. He'll be coming back strong even next year.
That's it. They were capping things off. Jeremy Shaw, John's going to be down in victory lane
Awesome.
for Indy Pro. I'll head down to the grid because we're going to come right back with USF 2000.
USF 2000, race number 2 on the weekend coming up. We'll stand down for just a second while Jeremy Shaw gets everything organized down in Victory Circle, and then we'll throw it down to Rob for pre-race leading up to race number 2 for the Cooper Tires USF 2000.
Hey guys, just coming off another race win here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It's Sunday. We were able to do pretty much the same thing as yesterday, but I was a little bit more on my toes today with Parker Thompson. Had Rasmus Lynn and Stingray Robb just behind me within 2 seconds. So it wasn't as easy as yesterday was. I had to push a little bit more, and we actually had a caution there, 5 laps to go. So that's nothing a driver in the lead by 2 seconds ever wants to see, but it's something I had to deal with, so reason why it wasn't as easy. But in some sense, that yellow actually helped me because my Cooper tires got extremely hot with the 20-lap race that we had, and then I was able to cool them down, get a lot more grip for those last 5 laps, and was able to regain that lead that I lost for the caution.